Hey everyone, today we're jumping into a really powerful moment in the Gospel of Mark. We're going to take a closer look at a pivotal meal Jesus shared with his disciples. Now, this was the Passover, a tradition they all knew, but Jesus gave it this incredibly profound new meaning, one that honestly sits right at the very heart of the Christian faith. All right, let's get into it. This one verse, this is our focus right here. These are the words Jesus said as he held up a cup of wine, and they literally change everything. You can feel the shift happening, from an old promise to a completely new one, sealed not with the blood of an animal, but with his own. So to really get the weight of this moment, you have to understand the setting. The Passover was this sacred annual meal. For generations, it was all about remembering God's liberation of Israel from slavery in Egypt. It was all about looking back. But on this night, Jesus takes this tradition they knew so well and points it in a totally new direction. And here's the crucial contrast. See, the Passover had always been about remembering what happened in the past, a huge historical act of salvation. But Jesus, he redefines it. He makes it a sign that's pointing to the future, specifically to his own sacrifice on the cross, a sacrifice that would bring a new and ultimate kind of freedom. Okay, so this brings us to the first major lesson we can pull from this passage, what Jesus' actions actually mean. What he does with the bread and the cup. It's not just symbolic. It's a powerful declaration of what's about to happen to him, for them, and, well, for all of us. Let's break this down a bit. When Jesus takes that bread and says, "This is my body," he's forecasting that his body is going to be broken. And when he takes the cup and calls it his blood, he's pointing right to his own death. These aren't just some poetic words. This is a crystal clear explanation of the sacrifice he is about to make. So the key idea here is this new covenant. What's a covenant? It's a sacred agreement. Jesus is basically saying his sacrifice is going to establish a brand new kind of relationship between God and humanity, one that isn't based on us perfectly following a set of laws, but on his incredible act of love. And this is why this whole thing matters so deeply. It means our salvation, our forgiveness, our relationship with God, it's not something we can ever earn. It's a gift, and it was paid for by Jesus. When you really start to grasp the incredible cost of that gift, it fuels a life of real gratitude and a desire to live for him. And that idea of gratitude leads us right into the second big lesson from this passage. See, Jesus didn't just do this once and that was it. He set it up as something for his followers to keep on doing. He gave us a powerful, tangible way to always remember what he's done. But that kind of raises a question, doesn't it? If his sacrifice was a one-time, all-sufficient act, why is the act of remembering it so vital to our faith? Why do we have to keep doing it? Well, because life gets crazy. It's so easy for our focus to shift to our jobs, our worries, our own successes. Intentionally stopping to remember his sacrifice pulls our focus right back to what actually matters. It keeps our hearts centered on the gospel, and that, in turn, keeps us humble, thankful, and spiritually grounded in the truth of what he's done for us. Okay, so we've got the what and the why down, but what about the how? How do we actually live this out? How do we go from just understanding this idea to actually putting remembrance into practice every day? Here are 4 really practical ways. First, reflect daily. Just pause for a moment and thank Jesus. Simple. Second, when you take communion, really approach it with reverence, taking time to remember what it's all about. Third, try to intentionally center your life on the gospel. Make it the lens you see everything through. And finally, share it. Tell other people what his sacrifice means to you. All right, as we start to wrap this up, let's boil everything we've talked about. The Passover, the new covenant, this call to remember. Let's get it down to its absolute simple core. If you take only one thing away from our time together today, let it be this single word: remember. Everything flows from this. The entire Christian life is really just a response of gratitude that comes from remembering the unbelievable sacrifice Jesus made. So I'm just going to leave you with this to think about. In the middle of your busy schedule, all your responsibilities and your goals, how can you personally keep the gospel, the good news of Jesus' sacrifice, at the absolute center of your daily life? Something to really chew on.